Hello viewers, once again welcome back to Java Jagra. As part of collection video series, today I am going to discuss about the custom vector. In this video, I will show you how to create our own custom vector or class. So that will be work similar to the Java provided vector class. So in previous video, I was talking about the internals of the vector that is provided with the Java. So I explained how the vector internally works that is provided with the Java. But in this video, I will show you how to create our own vector. So you people must be aware with the internals of vector. If you don't know, you can go to the search on the collection series Java Jagran and you can get the video. Here you can know the internals of the vector. So then after it's easy to for you to understand how to create a custom vector. Yeah. So let's start. So what is the agenda for today? Today we will not the all the function all the method I will not cover or like the importance method like adding, getting, searching, removing, that kind of method how to implement while creating our own vector I will explain. So now let's start. So what we can do is created just one class, see, with the name of custom vector. You people don't bother about this is the just a generics. Just as of now, just assume that whatever the while creating object of this class, so you have to pass the one of the class object class name. So for which class you are going to add the data in this vector. If you will not pass this, it will be work like a object, it will be treated like a object. If you are passing the any class name, so it means that it will be allowed to add or create that class or object only. So it's for the type safety. I will talk about the generics in some other video. So in this video I'm going to explain this. So just don't think too much about this is just thing like it's a like a object, and wherever we will use the e, that will be replaced at the runtime. Here from here we will pass the integer, so it will be replaced by the integer at runtime, and wherever the e is used, there all the places will be replaced by the that class, like in this case integer. So let's start. What I did is I created one private variable object array, so we can store the all the data in the internally. As in the previous video I told you that vector internally storing all the data in the object array in the form of object array only. So this is the variable I created, one object array. In that I will store all the data, whatever data will be coming to store, I will store into this. For the keeping the size, that how many variable how many data is added into the object, I created one integer variable, and that is the increase capacity. That and previous video I talked like where I used to follow the what some algorithm. So for that it's used I as in the vector class, three constructor is there. So same like here also I created the three constructor. See, here I created the three constructor. So first constructor is the zero parameter constructor. So if you are calling the zero parameter constructor for creating the object of the class, it will call the one parameter constructor by passing the 10. 10 means I already explained in the previous video, so some of the for the new user explain that. So this 10 will be go, and this will call the this method, this constructor. What do you mean by that? This 10 will be become the initial size. Initial size, it means we have to create the object of this is the array. So we have to create the object of object array, then store into this. So for that array, you all people know that for array the size is the fixed. So we have to decide the size yearly. So for that I'm passing here that we have to create the array with 10 bucket. So the size of the array will be the 10. So that's 10 I'm passing here. You can call this constructor also by passing the whatever size you want for the initial creation. So you can put it later. We all know that vector perform used to follow the growable array algorithm. So growable array algorithm will detect, and later on if they need to increase the size, they will increase based on the growable array algorithm. So for the initial size we have to pass. So this we will pass again. This we will call one more other constructor, third constructor, that is with two parameter. So what is this? This will take the first parameter as the initial capacity. Second one is the incremental capacity. It means what? Whenever global array algorithm will be implemented, on that they have to, when the size is become full, then we have to increase the size. That is called the global array algorithm. So for that, how many size we have to increase? For that, we have to pass it. If we are passing the zero, it means that we can, it will make it double. I will on the later on down I will explain this while explaining the global array algorithm. As of now, just understand this is for the incremental capacity, that how many uh, it has to create. Suppose the initial capacity is 10 and incremental capacity is 5. So whenever the all the 10 element will be added into the all the packet, then they have to increase the size. So that time it will increase by the 5. So it will, new size will become the 15. So like that. So like this it will create the, if the size you will pass in the negative, initial size if you will pass in the negative, then it will throw the exception like legal argument exception, because you cannot create a array with the negative size. So this, and here on the last created the object. So now what we have to do for the adding operation, object is created for the custom vector. Now we have to add the object into the that vector. So for that I created one uh, method. So now you people will ask why it is synchronized. So we all know that the vector, for the vector all the methods are synchronized, because vector is the thread shape. So for that all the methods are synchronized in the vector. So for that only all the method are in the vector also. So that's why while creating our custom vector also I make all the method as synchronized. So this is why, because if the multiple thread want to perform the operation, then they cannot perform simultaneously, so that data inconsistency will not occur. So for that, so while adding, every time while adding we have to check the capacity, that is it full or having the space to adding the element or adding element. So that's why we are calling the ensure capacity. This we call the growable array algorithm. So this will, every time whenever will try to add the object in the custom vector, then it will call the ensure capacity. So ensure capacity will be ensured that the, if the array is become full, what I did, if the data dot length less than or equal to size, size is the how many data is there, and the data dot length is size of the array that is available. So if the size is reached to the length, then it means that the array is become the full. So now what we have to do, we have to increase the capacity. So what we did is, I did is created one variable, and I checked if the incremental capacity is 0. If you are passing that increase with while creating a constructor, I stopped that you have to pass one incremental capacity. So if you pass like 0, it means you are asking that whenever need to increase the size, increase by the 0. So increasing by 0 is doesn't make sense. So that's why what I did, if it's 0 or less than 0, so sorry, I have to make it equal to. So if the incremental capacity is either 0 or less than 0, if sorry, yeah, sorry for I was getting confused. So if the size is greater than 0, if the size is the greater than 0, it means you passed of some positive number. So on that case, what I will do, the current length of the data, how many the length of the array is there, and that I will add the, suppose for the initially it's existing one is 10, and you pass that, whenever you need to increase by the 5. So what it will do, the new capacity will become 10 plus 5. So new array will be created by the 15 pocket. So this is, or if you are passing 0 or negative number for the increment capacity, so that is not making any sense, that is the wrong one. So that's why what I will do is, I will just increase it by double. So what are the current length of the array, I will just make it the double. And on the last, what I do is added a system copy data new capacity. So you people might ask about this. So this is what, it's a one of the array is the one of the util class that is already available in java.util package. So what is the is having the one method called copy of. What it will do, it will copy this data. First we have to pass the array, then one integer value. So what it will do, it will create one new array with the this size capacity, this size, and then after it will copy the all the existing data from this object to that of array, from this array to that array, then it will return that array. So I'm storing that array here. So what it will, all suppose 10 data is there, it will and new size is 15, so it will create the new array with the 15 bucket, and then after copy all the 10 data into the new array, and it will return the new array. So like this will happen. So this is how, if not, if the size is become full, then it will, all the operation will be happen. If size is still there, some space is still there in the array, then it will, this all operation will not be followed. After ensuring the capacity, what I am doing, just I am saying that on the data size, already suppose on the first time size is the 0, so on the first time 0 pocket, add the data whatever I am asking to add, and then increase the size. So next time it will come, it will add it to the first bucket. So that's why size will be the also the suppose 1 2, how many size is there. So this is how the add operation will work. Now let's come to get operation. So how to retrieve the data from the custom vector. So for the getting data from the custom vector, what I'm doing, we have to, as we know, for the retrieving the data from the vector, we can pass the index for that, and we can get the data from that index. So for that I create this method. So first I am checking that if the index whatever we are requesting, that is greater than or equal to size, then on that case we have to throw that array index out of bound. So what is this for size? I am keeping the just size as the size from I am keeping the size as the, keeping in the mind that from starting 1. If the first element is added, then size will become 1, but array works on the 0. It's a indexing work on the 0 form. So if the index, suppose you ask for the 5, then the already in the index you have to pass it on the 0 basis, but the size is on the 1 basis. So that's why I use the equal method. So if you are asking for the, suppose 5 data is there, so 0 1 2 3 and 4, in this index the data is there, you are asking for the fifth index, so size is also fifth, and you are asking for the fifth index, so it will change. But in the fifth index there is no data there. So it will check if the size is equal or greater than that, it will throw the array index out of bound exception. It means whatever the you are requesting for the which data that is not available, so it will throw the exception. Else if it's in a range, it means lesser than a size, their data is available, then I'm just returning the from the array whatever the index you requested, that index data I am returning from the get method. So this is all about the get method. So now next, what is the remove method? So there is two remove method, as we know. One is we can remove based on the index, another is we can remove based on the object. So what we have to do is, see, what we have to do is, we have to get the index. On the index basis, what we have to do, same by, if you are requesting for the removing the data from the based on the index, so first we will check if the index is greater than equal to size, then again we have to throw the array index out of bound exception. Why? Because suppose same concept here also, if the already 4 element is there in the you added the 4 element, and you are asking that remove the fourth index data or fifth index or sixth index data, so it will not, because the available data is 0 1 2 and 3 index data only, and you are asking to remove either 4 5 6 index data, so there is no data available. So on that case it will throw the array index out of bound exception, so that we can ensure that we cannot remove data because data is not there. Else if the size is index requested index is less than size, it means the data is available. So on that case what will I do, I will do is I will just call the, I will store the old data, I will take the old data, I will store it, and then I will for the returning, because I am returning the data. After that what I will do is size I will make the new number moved. I have to do is by size minus index minus 1, because one element we have to remove from there. So for that, if the number moved is greater than 0, then what we have to do, we have to just add a copy. System dot add a copy, it's the one of the method that will copy. So it will, what it will do, this is a source. If we will go to the definition of this, see, source, SRC position, source position, destination position, and length. What it will do, it will start, it will source from here, it will copy data onto the destination object. From this location, it will start from the, in the source, it will start copying from this location. In the destination, it will start copying from this location. It will, and it will call this much variable, this one data. So for that, I make it. And on the last, what I mean, data minus size equal to none for the link, so that that maybe that can be the eligible for the garbage collection. And then after I am removing, returning the object. So and next, other one is that based on the object. So if it's based on the object, then first what we have to do is, first we have to search the index, so where the actually the object is available. Then after we can remove it, then after the same as the previous method. So we have to do it. So what we have to do is, for that I created one index of method for searching. First come to the searching. So I created one index of method. Actually two index of method I created, because you people, if you are working with the collection, you might know that we can just pass the index object, so it will return the wherever its object is available. Otherwise we can do that, we can say like that, don't start, in this case it will start searching with the zero index. But in some case we can say that no, don't start with the zero index, start with some specific index like fourth index, fifth index. In that case we have to pass the index from where we have to start. So for that this method is there. So what I did is, if object equal to null, suppose if we are requesting for the null, so as we know in the vector we can store the null also. So for that, in that case, if the user is requesting for the null data, that where is the null is available. So on that case, what it will do, it will start searching from the index. So see here, what I did is, I I won't write the code again and again for the searching. What I did, just passed calling this method, and just what I did is just passed 0. So why 0 is, if I will passing 0, it will start searching from 0 index, because it's just need a from where we have to start. So it will start searching from 0 to till the size, and it will search that if anywhere the, if the null will be available, it will just return the I. It means on which index it's available, because that index of method will return just the index number wherever it is available. In the else part, if the you are not requesting for the null, you are requesting for some other data, then on that case what we will do is, we will say I will do the same thing, but instead of checking for the null, I will call the equal method. If equal method will return true, then after only I will consider that the object is existed. If the equal method will return false, then in that case I will not consider like it's exist. I will consider like it's not exist. So this will happen. If apart from this, both of the condition is failed, that means that the data is not available in the custom vector. So on that case, I can return the -1. So user can understand that the data is not available based on the -1. So same what I am doing here for the remove operation. Now come to remove operation. What I'm doing, first I'm calling the index of method with passing that object. If that object is available into the custom vector, it will return simply the index. So it will come the index here. So if the index will greater than 0, it means if the that object is found in the custom vector, then it will return the some index number. So it will not be the less the negative number. So on that case, I will just call the remove method. I will not write again the removing logic. I will just call this remove method. So this remove method will do their work. So what I did, if the in object is found, just call the remove method and return the true. That this showing that user will get to know that whether the object is removed or not. Otherwise, if the index of method is returning the minus negative number, it will suppose from here I am returning the -1. So if it's returning -1, on that case I sure that the object is not found into the list, the custom vector. If the object itself not found into the custom vector, then how can we remove it? So for that I am returning the false. So this is how the remove method will work. Both the remove method, two remove method is there, and search is also completed. Now one thing is left, that for the enumeration. So for getting the all the data from the custom vector, so for that what I did is I created one method with the name of element, and then I created the one of the enumeration in the interface. So that what I did is I created the anonymous inner of class. So you people might know about the anonymous inner class. If you don't know, I will talk about the anonymous inner class in some other video. So what I did, I created one anonymous inner class for the enumeration, and that in the enumeration two method is there. Enumeration is the interface, on that two method is there. So we have to override both the methods. So what I did, had more element and has element. These two methods is there in the enumeration. So what I did is I make one count variable, so I can count that how many of data I iterated with the enumeration. So what is there is count, if the count is less than size. Suppose I started with the 0, suppose I added the 2 element into the custom vector, then I wanted to get it from the using the enumeration. So what it will do, suppose first time count is 0, so if the 0 is less than 2, condition is true, then it will return true. So user can know that, yeah, the some data is available on the custom factor. So now next it will call the next element. So next element what it will do, for the multi-threading purpose, what I did is again I am checking that the count is less than size. If yes, then just return the count element. It means 0, first the 0 element. So first time it will return the 0 element. So what and it will make the count increase. After that what it will do, but in the case, suppose meanwhile, suppose this one returned the true, right? Okay, but in meanwhile some other thread came and they modified the discount, or they some event. So on that case what I will do is I will just throw the exception like no such element exception, because some other thread came and they modified the data, so that's why I'm not able to find that data. So like this it will return, so it will become one. Now like this it will iterate and it will check. So this is how I implemented some of the method for the custom vector. So now it's time to test that, yeah, it's working properly or not. So what I did is just added, what I'm going to do is I'm just adding the some data. I added the three data, then after I trying to get it from the vector. So now it's time to get to run the see 25 0 1 2. I added the three data. Now I am trying to get the second index data is coming 25. If I will try to get the first index data, it will return like 15. So in that case it will return the 15. So this is what is working. Now as I did in the vector class, and here also I wanted to debug it, show you the internal. See, yeah, it's actually correctly working or not. So see, in the case of the initially it's creating the 10 pocket of data. So as of now I am not adding that much data. So what I wanted to do is I just wanted to ensure that just create two initial size is 2 only. So it will create the internally array with the 2 packet. So now debug it. I am going to debug it. So now see what is there. It's created the array with the 2 packet. So now it will start the adding. So it's added the first element, okay, and the next one is the null. It's added one more element. Now array become full. So this time what it will do, it will make the all the insular capacity. Insular capacity will increase the capacity. So whenever we will try to add the third element, it will increase, just it will make double, because we didn't pass the incremental capacity. So that's why it will make the double by default. So it's making the double. Now I'm getting the data and printing it. So this is how it's working. So hope you people will get benefited with this. You will know how to create the custom vector, and this is all about the vector. So I think I'm done with the vector. So in the next video I will try to start talking about the array list. So I will same like a vector. I will first give the introduction of the array list, then after I will talk about the internals of the array list, then after how to create our own array list. So as of now that's all. So if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button, like it and share it with others, so others can also get benefited. Thank you. That's all.